Please solemnly swear affirm the evidence about presenting this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Go ahead, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. State your full name for the record.
Sarah Jane Love.
And where do you work and what do you do?
I'm a firefighter paramedic with Cherokee County Fire and Emergency Services.
What's your rank there?
Captain.
Tell the jury how long you've been doing what you do.
Well, I've been a paramedic for 28 years and I've been with the fire department for almost 22.
And what is I know there's paramedics, EMTs, and firefighters. What are they all and how are they different?
So there's an EMTI, which is like a basic, the lowest level you can work on an ambulance, and then an advanced, and then a paramedic.
And do you have a certain area that you work in the county, or is it just, how does that work?
You're typically assigned to a station.
You ever had to
a
testify
zone.
before at a trial?
I'm sorry?
You ever had to testify before at a trial?
Yes.
And you know why you're here today?
Yes.
I want to turn your attention now back to July 5th of 2018. It was a Thursday. I think y'all responded around right around 12:59 p.m. to the residents in this case. Is that right?
I don't have the date and times in front of me, but yes, we did
Okay.
respond.
Do you remember, was it midday, afternoon?
Afternoon, I believe.
Okay, if I told you around 1 o'clock, any reason to disagree with me on that?
No.
All right. And do you remember where you went to, where the property was?
Yeah, it was in the area of Freeholm or Alpharetta.
2155 Purcell Lane in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yes.
Is that the residence?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
And this was the Farris house, is that right?
I believe so, sir.
And was the house where you went and where all this occurred, what county was that in?
Cherokee County.
Do you remember what you got called out for?
We got called out for a person fell into a fire.
Just a person falling into a fire?
Initially, yes, sir.
Now, as you were heading out there, tell the jury just kind of what did you pack up, what did you take, and what did you expect to see?
Well, we responded with the fire truck and the ambulance. I was on the ambulance that day. We were originally dispatched to a person falling in the fire, and then it became a person down call, which means that they need resuscitation.
It means what? I'm sorry.
They need to be resuscitated. They don't have a pulse or not breathing.
As you were going there and going to the scene, what did you think you were going to find?
We were going to find a patient that needed to be resuscitated.
Like a person?
Yes.
Maybe just falling out or something?
Yeah, we just from the information, he fell in the fire.
When you got there, do you remember seeing anybody from the family, a son or not?
Yes, somebody met us at the end of the driveway. The driveway was pretty long, so the guys on the fire truck were getting onto the ambulance with us to ride in, and there was a gentleman there at the end of the driveway said that he would show us where the body was at.
Were y'all there first before law enforcement, the sheriff's department?
I believe so, but they wasn't far behind us.
How long did it take you to get there from the call? The call came out about 12:47. Did it take you very long?
I don't believe so. I don't have my reports. I don't know exactly how long.
Was it a short drive?
Fairly short, yeah.
And when you arrived, just kind of tell the jury what you remember seeing and what was going on.
So initially we stopped at the driveway, picked up the, what we found out later was the gentleman's son. He was telling us that he had been in Afghanistan and he had seen burned bodies before and he knew what they looked like, and I was trying to get information about if he was, breathing, if he was alert at the time, or, more information about the patient. And he just kept saying that over and over. And then when we got to the house, he rode in the back of the ambulance. When we got to the house, he walked us around to the back side of the house to a large burn area.
When you first met with, who's going to be Scott, we believe, the son,
Yeah.
when you first met with him, when you were talking to him, were you trying to ask him questions to see if he would answer them?
I was just trying to find out what kind of condition at the time we assumed the patient was going to be in. If we were going to be working a cardiac arrest or just treating a burn patient, or what we were going to find when we got around to the back.
Was that because you thought there was going to be a human being there? Mm-hmm. And did you, when you were asking him questions, was he Was it his state of mind? Was he telling you stuff? Was he able to tell you things?
He just kept saying over and over that he knew what a burned body looked like, and I was asking more like, was he breathing, and was he conscious? And he just kept saying he knew what a burned body looked like.
Now, may I approach the witness? Go ahead. Go ahead and take those if you have them. Look at those. You had an opportunity to look at photographs before trial, I believe, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and look at those and see if those. Now, it's going to be labeled aerial, as in aerial photographs. Go ahead and look at 1 through 14.
Okay.
Are those photographs aerial 1 through 14? Do they fairly accurately represent the area that we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Judge, this time I tender to evidence aerial 1 through aerial 14. You see on your screen there, this is aerial 1. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
By looking at the screen, this is just showing from the courthouse to the scene. Can you tell the jury about how long, how many miles it is, approximately normal drive, how much time?
From the courthouse, 34 minutes and 16 miles.
About 34 minutes or 16 and a half miles, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Purcell Lane, what area of the county is that in, Cherokee County?
That'd be the northeastern corner.
And what is that? What type of homes and things are out there? Nice homes?
Yes, fairly large homes.
Expensive area?
Yes,
Affluent
sir.
area, I guess is what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
And where were you coming from when you went there?
So where it says Freehome on the map and Highway 20, our station is about very close to Highway 20 at that where you would have turned off of Highway 20. Our station's right there.
This is aerial 2. This is showing coming down the road, Purcell Lane, as you come down Purcell. And you, was the driveway where you picked up Scott, was that at the kind of right there where Purcell Lane is and the driveway meets?
Yes, sir.
So do you remember the long driveway going up?
Yes.
So did you meet Scott down here or up in the driveway? Where was it?
At Purcell Lane. The fire engine's too big to get down the driveway.
All right.
So the ambulance stopped there, and the crew from the fire truck jumped on the back of the ambulance.
So everybody hopped in the ambulance and went up the driveway?
Yeah.
Aerial 3, this is just an overhead Google map showing the property is. How would you describe this property if you could say this is the type of property, this is what it was like?
It's a very large, nice property. Couldn't really see the house at all from the road, from the trees. It's a very large property.
We've taken some aerials about a year later, some drone photographs that you've been able to review. And this is aerial 4, so this is a snippet, if you would, from an aerial. Does this kind of look like the area that you went to on July 5th of 2018?
Yes, sir. I was more or less looking in the back, talking to the son. So I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to the driveway, but yes, sir, that is the...
As we look at aerial 4, this photograph on the left of the screen is this big long driveway. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
As aerial 5, as you move up the driveway, is it correct to say that there's a road or driveway that goes to the right to the barn, but y'all went straight up to the house?
Correct, sir.
And then aerial 6, is this an aerial showing the pond?
Yes, sir.
Is this the house behind the trees here?
It appears to be, yes, sir.
How about that? Aerial
Yes, sir.
7.
Yes, sir, that is the house.
Aerial 8, just another overview. Now, when you parked, and again, this is about a year later, but as you walk, did y'all walk around as where my mouse is on this item that's here, this white item? Did y'all go around this side, this left side, if you were facing the house?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
And then as you came around, did you come over to the back side where the burn pile was?
Yes, sir, we did.
Tell the jury, when you arrived expecting to see a person, when did things change for you? What did you see and what changed it?
As we're walking up to the burn pit, you could see some long bones. I saw a foot and the skull.
And when you saw that, what in your mind was going on? What were you saying to yourself?
was trying to make sense of it. I mean, it's not something you would typically see, so I was like trying to, like the skull, I thought maybe it was a rock. So I kind of moved it a little bit and put it back the way I found it. And the foot, is probably what stands out the most is the foot.
What equipment did you have with you to expect to find a person?
So the guys from the engine grabbed the bed and the equipment, the cardiac monitor, the jump bag, and they were coming behind me, and me and the son were walking, a little bit ahead of them.
When you got there, what was found and what happened?
Well, when I saw the bones, I advised dispatch that it wasn't a person down. It was a signal 48, which means a deceased person, and then to have the coroner en route.
Did anybody touch the bones or do anything with it?
Only like I said, sir, the top of the skull looked like it may have been a rock, so I kind of lifted it a little bit and then put it back where it was when I realized it was definitely the skull.
So things changed from a person needing help to a body, basically?
Correct.
Remains? Is that
Yes, sir.
fair? Did law enforcement, were they quickly on the scene at that point? Did they come up?
Yeah, I remember them being right behind us.
Now, I know you've probably seen a lot of things in your career, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
But did this shock you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take aerial 11, just showing this is a photograph showing the house in relation to the pond.
Yes, sir.
Aerial 12 going back over the pond to the arena, the sand pit. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
13 just marching back down the driveway, leaving.
Yes, sir.
And then 14 just going back to the road.
Yes, sir.
But now you've had an opportunity to look at law enforcement was able to do some drone videos about a year later in June of 2019. Did you have an opportunity to look at those drone videos?
I did.
Judge, at this time, and were those videos fair and accurate as you know the property to be when you saw it?
Yes, sir.
I tend to evidence now aerial 15, aerial 16, and aerial 17, which are 3 drone videos done by the sheriff's office about a year later.
All right, any objections?
No objection.
All right, they're admitted.
I'm just going to let this one play. It's about 2 minutes and 10 seconds long. Just maybe dim the lights, or it's not.
Do the lights in the bed. Let's flip the switch, right? Flip the switch down.
We play now aerial 16, which is about 7 minutes and 13 seconds long. Captain Love, while that's going on, you went around this as the drone is going. This left side is kind of how y'all approach the burn pile.
Yes, sir.
Captain, I know this about a year later, was that the area of the burn pile?
Yes, sir.
Captain Love, on State's Exhibit Aerial 16, roughly right at 7 minutes, is this a view showing from the burn pile to the house?
Yes, sir.
Next is State's Exhibit Aerial 17, which is 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Another drone video. And Captain, on State's Exhibit Aerial 17, roughly at 3 minutes and 45 seconds, is it showing two doors on that side of the house, on the basement level?
Yes, sir.
After you realized what you were dealing with, did you turn the scene over to law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything?
Yes, Your Honor.
Like, we need a replay of the video.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Flip them back up, please.
Good afternoon, Captain Love. My name is John Luke Weaver, and I represent Melody Farris in this matter. And it is Captain, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So on that day, you responded with who?
Me and my partner, Kenny Holland, were on the ambulance. On the fire truck was Jacob Kinney and Megan Hamilton.
Okay. So you got off of the ambulance,
Yes,
and you get, again, the fire truck could not make it up the driveway.
correct.
Why was that?
Because the weight of the fire truck, we don't typically drive the fire truck on driveways. If it's a long driveway, they'll either have to walk or they'll jump in the back of the ambulance with us. And on that call, they jumped in the back of the ambulance.
So you get out, you've got your pack, you don't really know what you have at the time, as you testified to earlier, but you walked up the driveway and you encountered, who did you encounter?
So at the end of the driveway, when we stopped and the crew from the fire truck was getting on, there was a gentleman at the end of the driveway telling us that he could show us where at the time we thought a patient was.
Okay. Now, you stated earlier that he kept saying to you he knew what a burned body looked like.
Correct.
And that's something that's resonated in your memory 6.5 years later.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was Scott Farris, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. What was his demeanor?
He was, I guess the best word is just panicked.
Okay. Do you remember anything else? Did he say anything else to you about where the location of this was?
That he would show us. He said it was a pretty good walk. He would show us where it was.
Now, were there any other family members close by as this was happening?
I did not see anyone else.
Did you speak to any of the other family members on the property?
No, sir.
Did he mention to you or to anybody that worked with you that day, did he ever bring up anything about a missing gun?
No, sir.
All right. But how many times do you think he said he knew what a burned body looked like?
Probably 2-3 times when I was asking questions when we were still in the back of the ambulance.
All right. Do you remember anything else he said?
I don't remember when he said it, but he said his dad had been missing for a couple of days and they'd been looking for him, but that wasn't unusual for him to be missing, I guess.
He said that to you.
Yes.
And that's when he walked you back there himself?
Yes.
And that was just as we saw in the video, back down the house, from behind the house. What would you say the grade on that piece of property was?
It was a little bit of an incline, but not too steep.
All right. And how far behind? I mean, because videos and pictures certainly don't do justice necessarily to being there in person. How far behind the house would you say that burn pile was?
I couldn't tell you. Because, I mean, at the time, I'm not thinking about how far I'm walking. I'm just, like, walking, trying to get some information and thinking about what we're going to do.
So generally speaking, so the images that we saw today were taken roughly a year later. You didn't take those pictures, correct?
Correct.
Right. But compare and contrast the state of the burn pile that day, July the 5th, 2018.
Just in reference to my report, I estimated it was probably about a 6 foot in diameter, and I don't remember, I think 3 feet maybe high.
Was it still smoking? Could you tell? Was it hot?
I don't remember seeing any smoke, and we didn't bring our thermometer down there to check because we were on an EMS call and we were thinking, get the patient, go to the hospital.
And you mentioned that, now, did you have any gloves or anything like that on?
Yeah, we had medical exam gloves on.
So I imagine that you wouldn't have thought it was a very hot fire if you would reach down and touch it.
No, sir, it wasn't.
All right, when you touched what was or remained, was it hot?
I don't remember it being hot, not like to burn me. It was warm outside, so I mean, it wasn't like it was on fire currently or enough to burn me, but it was, I guess, ambient temperature.
There'll be a number of expert witnesses. I expect that the state is going to. I keep thinking there's a map up there, but there's not. There's a number of expert witnesses that I believe the state's going to call, kind of talking about how they have mapped out the burn pit, the burn pile, where certain things were found within the burn pile. But you stated that you picked up what I believe you believe to be the skull of Mr. Farris.
I didn't know who, but yes, it appeared to be a skull.
But you picked it up, yes?
I didn't pick it up.
Okay.
I lifted like the corner and let it lay back down to where it was.
Immediately
I
laid
did-
it back down.
Yeah, I did not move it.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't pick it up to move it.
You didn't pick it up and hold it in your hand?
No, sir.
You just
I just
Rolled it
made
and
sure
put
it
it
was.
back.
I just made sure it was like not a rock, and there was,
And that would have been when you made the signal 48?
Yes, sir.
Was Scott Farris standing there when you were doing that?
I assume so. I mean, he walked us back there, and he was still back there when we were leaving.
Were
I don't think he left.
any other family members around?
I do not remember any other family members.
Did you ever remember speaking with my client, Melody Farris?
No, sir.
And did you see her even?
I did not.
When you walk down there, and I believe this is important, so I take your time to answer this question. Because all of Cherokee County responded following you after your signal 48. Did you ever notice any tractor marks near the fire?
I did not notice, sir.
All right. Did you notice any RTV tire treads? Like a tire tread, a car tread, any kind of a tire?
I did not notice.
All right. How about, could you see where horse hoof marks would be somewhere around the fire? Could you see any of that?
I didn't notice anything like that.
All right. Any tools or implements for the fire?
I didn't notice. I wasn't looking for stuff like that either.
Yes, ma'am.
But I did not notice.
Okay. Anything else you would remember about that day?
No, sir.
How long did you leave after the signal 48?
Pretty quickly after I called and told them that it was a signal 48 and law enforcement was there, we turned the scene over quickly as possible, especially for the ambulance to get back in service for, the next emergency call. So we left pretty quickly.
If I may have one brief second, Your Honor. That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Can you redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can sit down. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, you may as well call.
All right. That's fine. All right, call your next witness.
This is time the state calls Robert Reilly. Robert Reilly. Thank you, Captain. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to present in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Have a seat, state your name for the record, tell us where you work and what do you do?
Ben Reilly, I work for Cherokee County Sheriff's Department, UPD, been there 11 and a half years.
And what do you do at the Sheriff's Department?
Investigate crimes, car crashes, supervise, and road patrol.
I want to turn your attention now to Thursday, July 5th, 2018, probably right around 1 p.m. Did you respond to 2155 Purcell Lane in Alpharetta, Cherokee County, Georgia?
I did.
Tell the jury what you responded for.
I responded for a person down. Essentially, I guess the son of the mother called and said he'd been to Iraq, seen a person burning before, he knows what it looks like, and I responded as the supervisor.
Where'd you come from?
That precinct.
How long did it take you to get there?
It took me quite a while.
And when you respond, what do you remember seeing there?
There was some family outside, and there was another deputy at the front porch.
You got your cell phone with you?
I do.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Do me a favor, the judge allows. Can you Google what day of the week is July 5th, 2018? I want to turn your attention now to Thursday, July 5th, 2018.
Judge, you okay?
I've got a calendar.
I have a sailor's calendar in the back.
This is Farris County. No objection. Judge, I'll tender to evidence now State's Exhibit Raleigh 1, which is a calendar. Did you beat me?
Yes. There you go.
All right, so looking at State's Exhibit Raleigh 1, for your name and your one exhibit there, number 1, July 2018, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so you respond July 5th, which is a Thursday,
Yes, sir.
about 1 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
And do you have an opportunity to review State's Exhibit Raleigh 2, which is just a portion of your video from your patrol vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair and accurate and describe you pulling up the driveway?
Yes, sir.
Judge, at this time I'm tendering to evidence State's Exhibit Raleigh 2, which is a clip from his patrol vehicle video.
Okay.
Tendering to evidence this time.
Go ahead. Move.
This you.
Yes, sir.
Left of the screen, you'll see yourself walking up there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I have no idea. It looks like one of ours. You go around to the left of the house. Yes, sir. Thank you.
When you arrived, where did you go?
I went to the left side of the house
And where'd you end up?
and inside the house.
Did you go in the, who did you see in the house? Did you see Melody Farris, the defendant, in the house?
Yes, sir.
Now let the record reflect. Is this the defendant that you saw in the house?
You know, I believe so.
Okay. If I
It's
tell you
6
that-
year ago. Yes, sir.
All right. She looked like the person that you saw.
Yes, sir.
When you went in, where was she at?
She was on the outside, and then she came on inside.
Did you clear the house?
I did.
Tell the jury what clearing the house is.
So clearing the house is anytime you go on scene, you need to make sure that nothing else is inside the house, and that's just standard operating procedure. What we do.
When you walked in, did the defendant go and get anything from the house?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
She asked if she could enter the house. She forgot to get 2 rings that were inside a drawer, and I allowed her to do so. And we went inside the house. She went into a junk drawer and pulled out 2 rings and put them on her ring finger.
Where was this in the house? Do you remember?
It was on inside the kitchen.
Kitchen area.
Yes, sir.
And then after that, what happened?
And then she left. She went back outside.
At any point while you were out there, were you, I guess, tasked with doing security or making sure nothing was getting moved, things like that?
Yes, sir.
And did you ever smell anything?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury what you smelled.
Just like cleaning solution, like bleach. It was a very faint odor.
Remember anything about a candle?
Yes, the candle was reflected in my report. I can't remember exactly the candle. It was 6 years ago.
But there was a candle burning in the house?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, Mr. Weaver.
Did I hear you say, are you corporal?
Yes, sir.
Corporal, I'm John Luke Weaver, and I represent Melody Farris. So, what you just summed up, was that, how long were you there that day?
I was there for a while. I mean, if it happened at 1 o'clock, I wasn't relieved until about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
All right, so you were there 4 or 5 hours.
Sure.
All right. And you were the first one to respond with Cherokee County Sheriff's Office?
Incorrect.
Okay. Who was?
I believe it was be on CAD, but I know that I relieved Deputy Moss at the time.
All right. So there had already been a number of people there by the time you got there.
Sure.
All right. And you walk in. Were you the first person to talk to Miss Farris that you know of?
I don't know.
Had anybody else? So you walked in the house immediately once you got there.
I don't remember.
All right. And you walked in the house and you immediately smelled. What did you say you smelled?
The odor, like a cleaning solution, like bleach.
All right. Did you walk into a laundry room? Did you notice there was a laundry room close by when you walked in the house?
I don't remember.
Okay, you don't remember. And a candle. What did you say? You smelled a candle burning?
I believe there was it reflected in my report that there was a candle. I don't recall.
Because you don't recall the candle.
Correct.
Then why would you write in a report that this candle was important to you, but you don't remember what it was?
Because that's 6 years ago.
Okay. Is it unusual for people to have a candle burning in their house?
Sure. Is it unusual?
Yes. Is it unusual? Or is it usual?
Yeah.
It's normal.
Correct.
So why was that unusual to you?
I don't know.
Okay. And is it unusual for people to clean their houses?
Yeah, that's standard.
It's standard. And when you walk into a house, some of them smell clean, correct?
Sure.
All right. And would this have been any more different than if you walked into anybody's clean house? Yours, for example.
No.
That's all I have, Judge. Okay, hold on. One more. Okay. All right, so you cleared this house, yes?
Correct.
All right. And was anybody else with you?
I believe Deputy Moss.
Okay. And when you cleared this house, did you notice anything else out of place?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you notice any blood splatter?
No, sir.
Did you notice any droplets of blood?
No, sir.
Did you notice a bullet surreptitiously placed in the floor in the basement?
No, sir.
Okay. Nothing else. You just noticed maybe the smell of, you say bleach, maybe,
Yeah, cleaning solution, bleach.
and a candle.
Yes, sir.
But you don't remember what the candle smelled like.
No.
Okay. Anything else? Fair. What-
Thank you, Hunter. Debbie, I want to follow up on this candle. I think you were in the kitchen, is that right?
Correct.
And you said it's been 6 years?
Yes.
Don't remember everything?
Don't.
Did you write a report?
Yes, sir.
Or you taught to write something significant or important to put in your report?
Absolutely.
Would it refresh your memory, your recollection, to be able to look at your report and see what you said or wrote down about the candle?
Yes.
Judge Matt Roach? With all this technology now, I have the reports on my laptop. So what I want you to do is take my laptop, just hold it to yourself. Is that your report?
Yes, sir.
Do me a favor, go ahead and just read it to yourself. Don't read it out loud. Go to the section at the bottom there where it talks about the candle. All right, now being in the kitchen, there was a door. Where was the candle at?
I don't remember it was a big house. I don't remember exactly where the candle was.
Okay, you remember what room it is?
No, sir.
What do you now recall what you wrote in your report where the candle was?
Yeah, the candle was being lit in front of the basement door.
May I approach you on? Basement door.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further.
Did you take any photos of where this candle was?
No, sir.
Are you aware of any being taken of this candle?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Did you ever look in the dining room where the candle was?
Again, I couldn't even tell you where the dining room was.
Right. And you couldn't tell me where the laundry room was either.
Correct.
That's all, Judge.
All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down.
Thanks, sir.
All right,
Just maybe approach this.
all right.